expect from government's economic reconstruction and recovery plan. I'm joined by SABC News economics editor Thandeka Gqubule-Mbeki. Thank you so much for joining us, Thandeka. We did speak earlier, and of course the speakers speaking to just before us now have covered some of the critical areas. Very interesting IFP talking about corruption, and they're absolutely right that if you have a whole lot of funds that are supposed to be dedicated to projects, but people now chow those funds and delivery, is not honoured, then it's a waste of time.
And the DA also spoke about the capacity of the state to deliver on plans and on promises. And the issue of state capacity needs to be looked into very carefully. The issue of building a capable state is a very complex one because it goes to the issues of institutional culture. It goes to the issues of how previous policy decimated the capacity of the state to deliver. And also under scrutiny ought to be the fact that local government and municipal government has been completely decimated. I mean, municipalities have collapsed in the wake of the inability of citizens to honor their services and their bills in respect of their different municipalities. So with the promise of hyper-localization and the district approach in the economic recovery plan, it remains to be seen whether that can be achieved against the backdrops of a collapsed third tier of government, which is the municipal tier of government. The issue also of skills in our state also needs to be seriously addressed, but we do see that there's a general commitment to the improvement of skills throughout the economy in the documents that are currently on the table. And we hope that the President will be speaking extensively to the issue of upping the human capacity of our country and the Human Development Index being upped, and our capacity to meet health crises in the future needs to also be addressed because it has important ramifications for human capital development.
Yeah, but Thandeka, how does that culture change? I mean, if we look at some of the testimony that's been coming out of the state capture inquiry, for example, the kind of leadership that we had in the past, clearly people didn't even know what act was governing their position. They didn't even read documents that pertained to what they had to do, and they just relied on the people around them. We need leaders, obviously, who have the intelligence to be able to garner information and ensure that they rubber stamp it, knowing what exactly they're asking to be done.
A new culture needs to emerge in the wake of this economic recovery plan, a culture of social action, civic action, and individual responsibility. We have developed as South Africa, as the rest of Africa has, a predatory and extractive elite that seeks to extract public goods and make them private goods. And that is a toxic culture. This is exactly what lies at the root of our corrupt culture. And so if we have a predatory, corrupt elite that is more interested in the improper acquisition of financial benefits from public assets, then we have a lot of work to do on the souls of our people, and an economic recovery plan that does not speak to that could be shallow.
South Africans are tired. There's a lot of joblessness, there's a lot of poverty, and obviously the inequality. But inequality is what it is in the sense that the world over, there's more increasing inequality. What do you think the President has to say to those who are the majority who are listening that will make them feel like next year is going to be a better year? Because, the feeling is that it's more of the same. Yesterday there was an alternative meeting around alternative policies to boosting the economy, because if you keep on using the same old policies, then nothing is really going to change.
Nobu, you spoke about immediate low-hanging fruits. I think that the central bank can use all the tools in its arsenal of monetary policy to lower the cost of capital in our economy, because the cost of capital has implications for whether people can actually expand their productive efforts. If you have a hot plates factory, for example, Nompu, if it's too expensive for you to get capital to expand your manufacturing enterprise and employ people, then many economic actors throughout the economy will make the decision to conserve their activity, and we will never be able to reindustrialize our country after so many years, almost a decade of deindustrialization. So we need to look at immediately lowering those interest rates and having a lower cost of capital in our economy. Another low-hanging fruit, Nompu, is we could have, and I see that we didn't in the documents, immediately have declared a few public goods. We could have said that broadband for educational purposes is absolutely free, and we could have made other communications and telecommunications facilities which increase the velocity of the transactions and of goods and services in an economy. We could have made them free to the poor so that people can climb on.
I know you have more to say, but we've run out of time. My boss there, that's Thandeka Gqubule-Mbeki. She's our economics editor.